Good evening. If you clicked on this video, you're probably interested in Morgan Housel's The Art of Spending Money. I just finished this book about a week ago. I'm going to do a little review on it. If you didn't know, Morgan Housel wrote a previous book to this, The Psychology of Spending Money, which did very well, and so he decided to write another book, The Art of Spending Money. So it's like a number 2, a sequel to that original book. When I was reading this book, the main thing I was thinking was, I think this book would be better titled The Psychology of Spending Money. Because this book is, pretty much every chapter involves like a psychological lesson, like a way, like thinking about how people look at money and how they use it and how they think it's going to make them happy, but it really doesn't because of who humans are, who we are, and what actually matters. A lot of lessons like that. So The Psychology of Money, his first book, I think would be, I don't think you could swap the titles, but I think this book is definitely more psychological when it comes to the lessons and how he wrote it. One main point I want to say about this book is if you're starting out and like you're trying to, I want to be rich, I want to make a lot of money, and you start buying books to learn how, I would not recommend this book because it's not a guide on how to make money. This book is definitely more for people who already have money or are starting to earn money and are trying to ensure that they don't let it ruin their lives. They don't let it make them miserable. That they want to make sure they actually use money for its actual purpose, which is to make you happy, which is to make your life easier, to be able to get the things you want. One of the biggest lessons in this book is limit how much you want. Make sure your desires and your needs are low. Because if it's too much, well, there's plenty of stories in this book to explain what happens to people who want and desire too much. But yeah, so many psychological lessons in this book. It's really, this isn't really criticism, but Morgan Housel obviously went out to write a financial book. I think what he ended up doing was just writing like a good general like psychology book. And because he was writing a financial book, he kind of, at the end of the chapters, he'll go through and he'll make like a really good point for a psychological way of thinking or a way of living your life that will actually end in the end make you happy. But because this is a financial book, he has to like tie in money at the end, and this is what it means for money, and stuff like that, which is fine. He does a good job of doing that, but it seems like maybe he would have just been capable of writing a good psychology book, honestly. And he kind of forced money to be a part of it. Not in all of the book, but in some parts of the book. That's what I was realizing. I was like, oh yeah, that's a great lesson. I've read that before in other books, or I've experienced that in my own life, or that I could start implementing that in my own life for so many different things besides money. So props to him for being able to do that. Someone who's in the financial field and learning human behavior and human psychology and learning what makes us miserable and what makes us happy, ultimately in the end. So that was pretty impressive, but also money had to be involved, obviously, because it's a financial book. But once again, if you're looking to make sure that you're capable of self-criticism, of looking outside yourself and realizing, okay, I have a lot of money, this might take hold of me, this might end up ruining my life instead of making it better, this is a great book for you, because there are many stories in this book and talk about what happened. The stories explain what happens when you don't use your money properly and you don't pay attention to what you really want and what's really important in life. It never ends well. So if you're looking for a couple good stories, a couple good lessons in that, so you can avoid people's mistakes in the past, this book, Morgan Housel's The Art of Spending Money, has that for you. And then once again, if you are looking for actual strategies, actual ways to make money, plans to save, the best way to save, what to invest in, stuff like that, this book has none of that. It's not that kind of book. It's not a beginner book like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or any of the other financial books out there, the main ones. So yeah, this is more just for people who are looking how to maintain their happiness or achieve happiness with money, and whether or not that's possible. If you're trying to figure that out, this book would definitely be for you. I highly recommended it. I enjoyed it. It's an easy read, very simple, nothing too complex, very easy to digest. Yeah, once again, The Art of Spending Money by Morgan Housel. sequel to his first book, The Psychology of Spending Money. I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope it was able to help you, and I hope you have a great day.